But then I saw Roberto Duran. I said, that's who the fuck I want to be.
Man, Duran.
I said, that's who I want to be. A mean motherfucker. People scared to look at him. The devil.
In 1951, amidst the slums of the capital city of Panama, less than a mile away from the famous canal, Roberto Duran came into the world. In a family of 9 children, acquiring education was a long shot, so the boy earned a living by shining shoes on the street. At 12, he first stepped foot in the boxing gym. By the age of 16, Roberto realized that the pugilistic craft was the only way to lift his family out of poverty, and jumped into the pro ranks without hesitation. I became a boxer due to the need. We didn't have money to eat. We slept in an entranceway. Being an avid proponent of playing speed chess with fists, he would bulldoze his way to the inside and put a bow on it in quick fashion. The jab served as a bait to lure enemies into a Russian roulette shootout.
Ring generalship as we watch Roberto Duran, since they both have the white trunks and you may not be familiar with either one of these fellas as yet.
Leaping into the thick of things.
I'll tell you, the favorite fighter of Roberto Duran by Kobayashi, and you see the way the man with the hands of stone, this young
the Panamanian dynamo surrendered to savage impulses.
Backs off Kobayashi.
And even the battle-hardened opposition of the tough 60s era
Duran high in the top of the head, but you see Duran really took a shot that time.
Gradually caved in under the weight of his arguments. The ballet of violence usually resulted in one performer knocking on the Shadow Realm's door.
Seconds now of this. The 6th round. Actually missing a lot of shots here because he's fatigued. Good body shot, right, left, and big right hand. Look at that, he backs him up. Big shot and drops the former champ.
The worst thing you could do with me was be scared, because I'd smell that fear. In the summer of '72, the 21-year-old Roberto earned a shot at the lightweight championship belt. The crown belonged to the elusive Scot, Ken Buchanan. Boasting an impressive 43-1 record, he was a defensive savant and an avid sharpshooter.
Hudson bleeding again from that cut. And Hudson's over for
the 15-round bout was scheduled to take place in New York at Madison Square Garden, where the challenger made the best of his moment under the bright lights. For every Panamanian out there, from my mother, I will become a world champion today. I will knock out Ken Buchanan and his big nose. Fiercely determined, Duran scored a knockdown 10 seconds in.
The supplementary point system down. I will ask him about that later.
However, the champion slowed things down with a jab.
Right with his right hand.
Dodged a fiery assault in matador fashion, and continued to maneuver around the raging Panamanian bull.
He's throwing everything.
Roberto vehemently unloaded in close quarters.
Got some of the moves of Nino Benvenuti. Duran in the darker trunks.
And displayed the now-forgotten art of infighting.
That perhaps Duran may punch himself out, Cannon. And the body punches.
In the 5th round, the persistent onslaught began to bear fruit, causing Buchanan's defense to crack at the seams.
Oh, he really hurt him that time.
The Scotsman struggled to keep up with the constant angle changes, showcased survival skills, and at times dared to fire back.
Buchanan fighting back.
The challenger fought tooth and nail for every episode. Maintaining an iron grip on the action, even in the 13th round.
Got 2 rough rounds ahead of him.
In the dying moments, the boxers got so carried away that they ignored the bell. In the heat of the melee, Roberto landed a low blow, but the referee didn't notice it.
After the bell.
Ensuring that Buchanan couldn't continue, he declared a technical knockout.
and new lightweight champion of the world.
Following the official announcement, the Scotsman was hospitalized. Later, Ken admitted, "Every time I think of Duran, my balls hurt." Despite the controversial ending, Roberto dominated throughout the contest, capturing the World Championship at 21 years old.
What do you think it was that made you win?
El corazón. Esto fue lo que me hizo ganar la pelea.
His heart,
Y
very
esto.
much. His
Mientras
heart.
dan esto, hay esto. He said,
The newly crowned king had no intention of keeping the division stale. In 1973, he had a whopping 8 bouts. One particularly memorable encounter was with the funky Japanese boxer Guts Ishimatsu. Duran practiced his pullback counters, defensive evasions, and polished multi-level combinations to a shine. By the 10th stretch, he found an opening and dropped the resilient challenger. True to his berserker nature, Guts got up, but was sent to the mat again. The samurai's spirit wouldn't allow him to stay down. Only after the 5th knockdown did the referee finally intervene. The Japanese fighter would go on to become a champion eventually, have 5 successful title defenses, and an eventful retirement, conquering the film industry as an actor. Among his credits are roles in movies by Steven Spielberg and Ridley Scott. In 1974, the Panamanian juggernaut kept a busy schedule, striking while the iron was hot. In March, a daredevil emerged in his path, capable of derailing the freight train. The 41-1 Esteban de Jesus also knew how to throw heat. And most importantly, had wobbled Duran 2 years earlier,
Have terrific records, and there is Duran down, believe it or not.
ultimately winning a decision over the Panamanian. In their rematch for the belt, it seemed that Roberto hadn't learned from their first encounter. Lightning did strike the same place twice. Nevertheless, Duran was undeterred by his shaky start. In the second round, he landed a compact left, followed up with a flurry, ate a counter, and caught the wave with the lead hand. Now defensively responsible, the champion would close the distance, dictating the terms on the inside. Where he stood unmatched. At times, the challenger made his presence known, but Roberto quickly returned the favor, diligently bombarding every inch. And greedily claiming each exchange. Going into the 7th, Esteban began to falter under the heap of rocks. But surrender was not in his vocabulary. Later, he even put the champion on his heels, instigating a scuffle in the phone booth. Duran capitalized on this misplaced audacity and lashed out 100 unanswered blows. In the 11th round, De Jesus finally realized the direness of his situation. Avenging his only career blemish, the champion once again proved that although the body might fail, his mind remained unyielding. Following the spirit of the times, Roberto performed almost every month, but only a portion of his bouts from the mid-70s were caught on film. In his 50th outing, the 23-year-old ring veteran put a finishing touch on his image with a trendy hairstyle. The challenger, Ray Lightning Lampkin, kept flashing for 14 rounds, but proved powerless against the champion's stunning bowl cut. A soul-snatching hook grounded Ray senseless, embellishing the canvas. He would be hospitalized and stay unconscious for half an hour.
This guy was giving Duran a tough fight, so at the 14th round, Duran knocked him out. Boom, he's in a coma, he's in a fucking chair, he's fucked up, right? And then everybody's sad, and so what Duran says when they say, Duran, what did you feel? He's in a coma, there's a possibility he may not live. And then Duran said, puh, next time I be in shape, he won't go to the hospital, he goes to the fucking morgue.
The phrase caught on, adding to the boxer's already frightening reputation. However, the public was left unaware of what happened after. Duran went to the hospital and spent the entire night by the bed of his fallen adversary. In 1975, the Hands of Stone were still just as destructive. So the number of victims under the rubble exonerably grew. The slick champion of Mexico, Leoncio Ortiz, dared to break the trend.
Doesn't move much. Takes a strong right into the fighter.
He's in there, he's blocking shots with his arm.
Holding his ground on the back foot,
With a body.
he intercepted incoming shots.
Round for Ortiz, the challenge.
And, thanks to his adamantium chin, dragged Duran into deep waters.
Right hand. Ooh, that right hand got through by Duran.
But even in the long-gone 15th round, the Panamanian had no desire to leave it to the judges.
27 seconds left. Oh, and the challenger is down with a right hand.
Drilling Ortiz with a jaw-dropping uppercut 45 minutes into the affair, Roberto secured his latest career finish. In the spring of 1976, the undefeated Lou Bizarro, on a streak of 23 victories, awakened the Hands of Stone. Duran threw a couple of boulders in retaliation. But Bizarro surprisingly rose from the ashes. The crowd witnessed another miracle.
He is hurt. And another vicious right hand. He's down.
Yet on that night, the previously unbeaten Italian lost his combat chastity.
Oh, he's out. Oh, look out. He's out now. They should.
The necromancer referee didn't stop the count even after a chillingly cold KO, trying to resurrect Bizarro and keep the banquet going. Meanwhile, the jam of fools eager to overthrow the king did not dissolve. Duran captivated the female audience with signature combinations, simultaneously barbecuing the opponent's liver.
And he's taking some. Oh, a wicked attack to the body that hurt Fernando. He's not going to get up.
A piercing body blow sent the challenger slumping against the ropes. In early 1978, the matchmakers decided to bring back the only threat to the Panamanian, Esteban de Jesus. After falling short in their rematch, the Puerto Rican managed to string together 7 wins, claimed the WBC title, and defended 3 times. The conclusion of the trilogy sparked mass excitement, since the undisputed championship laurels were also at stake. Drawing lessons from the past, Duran was more cautious at the outset. Constantly jammed and utilized active head movement. The sharp style of De Jesus forced Roberto to adjust his usual approach. It turned out that the Hands of Stone could not only wreak havoc, but also mind his P's and Q's, sting annoyingly, crack on the counter,
apoyando a su muchacho de Puerto Rico. Lindo,
and reclaimed the initiative.
lindo como lo metió en la...
Only by the halfway point did Roberto feel the wind in his sails
Se conectan ambos, bonito los... Lindo.
and initiate a naval boarding.
Duran metiendo en la esquina al boricua, arriba, abajo, con la izquierda.
Forced to cede the center, Esteban relied on sniper shots.
Libres de impuesto.
The three-lunged Duran increased the stakes as rounds progressed.
Bonita ese uppercut de derecha de Duran. Ahí está con la izquierda.
And hit the jackpot in the 12th.
Buena esa mano de Duran. Le están contando.
An intercepting uppercut caught the Puerto Rican off guard. The referee allowed the fight to continue, thus signing De Jesus's execution warrant.
El uppercut, la izquierda y la derecha por Duran. Está en malas condiciones el boricua. Y no se defiende. Lo va a matar, por favor. Ese hombre no puede continuar.
Duran captured all three belts and put an exclamation point on their rivalry. Unfortunately, Esteban's life gradually took a downturn from there. The boxer received a life sentence for murder, later tested positive for HIV, and was only pardoned after the disease progressed to a severe stage. When the former champion was bedridden, an old rival unexpectedly visited him. At that time, there was still a belief that the virus could be transmitted through touching. Nevertheless, Duran sat next to him, kissed both cheeks, and gave a tight hug. A month later, De Jesus passed away. Following the death of a friend, Roberto wandered the streets of the city for 3 days, buying destitute children anything they wished for. Meanwhile, the 28-year-old Duran's record reached an extraordinary number, 67-1, with 12 title defenses, 11 of them inside the distance.
27 seconds left. Oh, and a...
While being a champion, he won nearly 40 bouts. But back then, not every fight was sanctioned as an official defense. Leaving nothing but scorched earth behind, he decided to move up to the welterweight division. I went undefeated for 8 years as a world champion. I raged through fights, tearing apart everyone who stood in my way. Nobody could beat me. I practically felt invincible. Gaining 12 extra pounds, Roberto jumped 2 weight classes to the prestigious welterweight division. Eager to secure his client a quick path to the title, the omnipresent Don King set up a showdown with the former WBC belt holder, Carlos Palomino.
That one has got him.
While being a champion, the Mexican instilled fear with his lethal left hook. Defended the strap 7 times.
Like the end, another body punch.
And only lost it in his last outing.
There's the bell for round 1.
The majestically maned Duran dulled the enemy's reactions with feints.
And he's doing a lot of feinting in this fight.
Stayed a step ahead both inside and at long range. Therefore, Palomino sought his chance on the counter, but got too predictable and was clocked by a textbook 1-2. Swinging side to side, Roberto unleashed his arsenal upon every anatomical structure available. Yet Palomino didn't even twitch his mustache of steel. Standing firm in the storm, he got back to his game plan. Be that as it may, Duran shone in every aspect that night, turning commentators into followers of his cult.
Sweeter than this. Oh! My hat is off to Roberto Duran. He has made me a believer.
A right overhand, a nasty uppercut, exquisite combinations, provoking jabs,
Sure, they're both watching.
a swift cross, and an exceptional fight IQ were on display. What allowed Palomino to make it to the final bell was the bout being 10 instead of 15 rounds, and his trademark Mexican chin.
There it is.
Roberto celebrated a convincing victory, punching the door to the throne room. Leading up to the biggest showdown in his career, Duran helped Sylvester Stallone prepare for the rematch in Rocky II. And when the year 1980 arrived, the hands of stone approached the unconquered mountain, Ray Leonard. Following his victory at the Olympics, and a quick one at that.
Oh! With a right lead and then a left. Cleaning up. The Cuban is ready to go on. Merrill will go with the...
Sugar entered the big game.
Nappies. It's suddenly down.
Becoming a boogeyman in the blink of an eye. Leonard embodied the ideal boxer. Springy legs.
Now Ray's up on the stones. Oh, a beautiful right hand.
Great power.
Combinations. Oh, and so.
Impenetrable defense with cat-like instincts.
Now sticking that left hand in Bond's face. Keep him up.
That seamlessly turned into overwhelming offense.
Fight back. Bonds is hurt now. Doubles up in the corner. Combinations. Down goes Bonds.
Unmatched speed. Multiplied by lethal combinations.
Much better power than he's given credit for. Hitting him with combination upon combination. And he plays.
He was perfect.
Oh, drop.
Really hurt him right there.
10 seconds.
He's hurt right here.
Got him down.
In addition, Sugar was not just another champion, but a true national superstar. With his good guy reputation, the American regularly appeared on popular TV shows, shot in commercials, and was rightfully considered Muhammad Ali's successor. They disliked each other at first sight, and the political situation surrounding the ownership of the Panama Canal added fuel to the fire. Tensions between the US and Panama led to a mutual xenophobic rhetoric. As was common at the time, the bout was marketed in the States with a us versus them flavor, where on one side was the country's darling, a charming intellectual with a luminous smile.
Somebody said it's like being hit by a rock to be hit by this guy. Scared?
Just a little.
And on the other, a foreign macho man with rough manners.
Yo no vengo a hacer payasada como ese que está ahí. I'm not here to be a clown.
Coming in as an underdog, Roberto gladly embraced the role of the villain.
Leonard should be happy I didn't hit him in the street. He had so many bodyguards around him in the United States, so I couldn't hit him. He should bring them over here in the ring with him.
In order to ruffle Ray's feathers and make him brawl on fight night, the Panamanian hired a spy who called him every time Leonard's wife went out shopping. Then Duran would show up and shout that he planned to sleep with her after killing her husband.
It bothered me as a guy. It bothered me as a fighter. And you don't insult a man's wife. And I was gonna get him back.
The key bout of the decade and one of the cornerstones in the entire history of boxing took place at the Olympic Stadium in Montreal, gathering 46,000 lucky fans.
And round one.
Risking his own head, Duran cut angles to close in on the mobile target.
Duran goes to the body, but he's fine.
And rattled the champion already in the second frame. Leonard's shoulder roll negated the right cross, but proved useless against the left hook.
In trouble. Now what? Watch his legs.
To the dismay of those present, Ray did not rely on his signature footwork, facing the aggressor head-on instead.
Oh, the right hand hurt Leonard again. Leonard by Leonard. What a fight!
Roberto took advantage of this, closing shut the telephone booth, where he felt like a wolf in a chicken coop.
That's what I'm talking much with. Why would they want Leonard to take him inside? Nobody hurt. Leonard in trouble again. Look at
But even in open space, he caught the champion with a sweet pull counter.
goes to show you the Roberto. Oh, a right hand. He hurt Leonard.
Leonard made slight adjustments in the fifth and began to step it up.
This corner, a la Tommy Loughlin, but Leonard fighting out of it. He's got the right hand. No.
A leaping hook,
Oh, I said to you, Ray Arcel. Oh, a left hook. He might.
a solid uppercut in the clinch, blistering combinations,
Oh, no.
and tit-for-tat haymakers. Sugar also paved the way to the liver and relied on his lightning speed in close quarters.
Keeps knocking down the rat. Oh, that was a
Yet he was out of his element, and this type of dogfight is where Duran has always thrived.
Beautiful hook line speed. Duran seems to have lost a little of his. And now Lana hit him with the left. Duran turned his back on him. What punches? Low punches by Duran.
Leaving no shots unanswered,
Corner Duran. He's trying to get out. Oh, a big shot from Duran. That's Duran. And up. Oh,
the hands of Stone escalated the level of violence. Still, Sugar didn't melt.
good right hand. Oh, they both do. Duran. I want to tell you, Sugar Ray.
Oh, what exchanges! What exchanges by Leonard!
Yes.
Leonard going, pushing, pulling, fell.
30 minutes in,
Duran doesn't look tired at all, and Leonard is punching.
and the collision of supermassive fighters' testicles triggered gravitational waves of exchange.
The other rounds, he slowed down.
Oh, Leonard beating it too, but Duran stays on top of him.
They absorbed inconceivable damage. But it was the Panamanian Pulsar who consumed all the space.
Leonard punching. Leonard coming back with a flurry of Duran answer.
Burning with the desire to flatline the champion, Duran stuck to his ferocious ways in the 12th.
Using the left. Oh!
Taking lumps out of each other, both came inches away from the abyss of unconsciousness. The retreating Leonard tried to wind his foe, bombing the midsection.
Leonard now hit him a little bit low. And the bell.
Roberto digested the offerings with ease, increasing his military
I
output.
don't think he's ever gone through one like that. A left hook. Oh!
Sugar held firm
Leonard taking everything.
They're yelling.
and returned the favor late in the round. Feeling that he might be behind on points, Ray pressed the issue in the 14th.
Save his championship, Sugar Ray Leonard must fight. He seems to sense that he needs this.
Roberto wasn't in the mood to share the spoils and uncorked a left hook.
Comes right. Oh, what a left hook. Oh, what a shot by Roberto. And Leonard is right.
Forced to take a back step again, the American unleashed his trademark uppercut. The supercharged projectile known as the Bolo Punch dinged the Panamanian's noggin. Opening the final stretch with a touch of gloves, the ring gladiators picked up where they left off.
Saving himself for the last minute.
Leading on the cards, Duran flaunted his invincibility, playing with Leonard.
But he's got a punch from Leonard, bombing away, and Duran.
Presenting a target on a silver platter at the end,
It doesn't have to fight the 15th round.
There's the clock.
he casually danced his way to the bell.
The bell.
Roberto Duran, the new welterweight champion of the world. The bout became an instant classic, entering history books as the Brawl in Montreal. Albeit mockingly, but Roberto still gave credit to his nemesis.
Do you respect Leonard?
Respeta a Leonard. Sure. Leonard, you're my friend now.
Is Leonard the best you ever fought?
See?
That was one of Leonard's mistakes, thinking he could knock me out. And that's what got him. He couldn't do anything, because when he was hitting Roberto Duran, he was hitting a stone wall.
We congratulate him again on his victory. This fight is inch for inch and pound for pound of all time. Congratulations to you.
Thank you, Howard.
3 days later, Roberto landed in Panama City on the presidential plane to be welcomed right on the runway. The government organized a grand parade with 700,000 people celebrating their fellow countrymen. The festivities continued for almost a month. From now on, Duran was a demigod in Panama with limitless possibilities. Long dreaming of a singing career, he decided to seize his opportunity. Savoring the fruits of his success, Roberto spent days on end partying, ending up in peculiar situations. One time he got so drunk that he reportedly knocked out a horse in a bet. As a result, the boxer ended up in a hospital with dislocated fingers. Considering such a wild lifestyle, it's not surprising that Duran completely lost his shape. So when a sudden call came in with an offer for a rematch, The former lightweight already weighed north of 195 pounds. The first encounter drew massive attention, so the godfather of boxing, Don King, was chomping at the bits to set up a sequel.
Everybody rush out to the closed circuit and get their tickets because this is going to be World War IV.
The second act of the play took place 5 months later, with New Orleans being the venue. Ray Charles warmed up the crowd, getting 60,000 spectators ready for the upcoming battle. Roberto was intent to make it a skirmish again. However, the light-footed Ray wasn't going to repeat his mistakes. Sugar pierced the foe from a distance, caught him on the retreat, and tied him up in clinches. Duran looked too sluggish after a 40-plus pound weight cut.
Duran getting to Leonard a bit now.
Those eyes that used to stare at someone and stare you down were now just like lost.
By the middle rounds, Leonard found his groove and openly taunted his rival.
He's not arrogant at all. Look at this. I think that will endure.
Unable to put up with more antics,
Well, I haven't seen this outside of an Ali fight. Nobody does it. Oh, what are you doing?
in the 8th stretch, the Panamanian shocked the world.
What's Duran doing around here? He's saying, I don't understand what's going on here. He's quit, Duran. I don't believe this.
The audience was ready for anything, but seeing Roberto Duran surrender, that's something unimaginable. The next morning, news outlets came out with "No Mas" on the front page. In Spanish, it means "no more," a phrase that Duran supposedly said before quitting. Later, it would be revealed that the commentator made it up, but these words would be a stain on Roberto's reputation forever.
I've never seen this young man behave in this manner. I've been with him 9 years. He's been through tough fights, and I was absolutely astounded. I wish I could give you an honest answer.
No amount of money. There's nobody that could do anything that would help this man with the destruction of his reputation or the doubt that's been cast upon his reputation.
Leonard didn't come to fight. Leonard came to clown around when he saw I was weak. That's all. I said, well, I'm not continuing.
Does this mean the end of boxing for Roberto?
Yes, I'm not fighting anymore.
This is final, permanent retirement.
Definitivo.
Definitivo.
Definitely, I'm not fighting anymore.
This time, the Panama City airport was empty. Fans perceived "No Mas" as a national humiliation, and many who had bet their hard-earned money on the boxer were hungry for retribution. Roberto's house was pelted with stones. His cars were smashed to pieces. Worrying about being assaulted, he only ventured outside accompanied by his pet lion named Vala. Whenever the two went for a walk, the streets instantly emptied. Duran thought about leaving boxing, but life outside the ring proved unbearable for him. Unwilling to leave that pivotal night behind, he grew antisocial. That's when the former world champion's wife came to his aid. My wife tells me, "Duran, you have to fight again. I would like to fight Leonard, but I know that's not going to happen." She said, "No, you have to start again." The comeback wasn't easy for 30-year-old Duran. After changing his coaching staff, he decided to move up to the 154-pound light middleweight division. The hands of stone were still heavy, but the pressure wasn't as excruciating as it once was. He made the walk 5 times in the span of a year, winning 3 and losing 2 on points. Many had already written him off as a gatekeeper, when in his 80th bout, he faced the former weight class king, Pipino Cuevas. With his eyes on the prize, Duran worked the opponent's body with uppercuts.
Good right for Duran.
Found the mark with snappy 1-2s.
Good right hand. Duran sticking. Good right by Duran.
And maintained composure in the clinch.
Got hit a good left hook by Duran. They're going at it. This is the slugfest, people.
The Mexican with a 90% knockout rate
good right hand by Duran.
proved powerless against the Panamanian's precision. Roberto allowed the battered Cuevas to get his licks in. Said, now it's my turn. And blew him out of the water.
Cuevas to the ring, spider but Duran's going after him again. Cuevas against the ropes. Down for the second time in the ring. Like he did in the Tommy Hearns fight. He was surprised by his punching power.
Do you plan to fight for the title?
But can he do it against a new and young champion?
This victory granted Duran a rendezvous with the WBA champion Davey Moore. The unbeaten American boasted a streak of 9 finishes. Had secured 3 title defenses in just the past year. And was 8 years younger.
Going inside and uppercut and down he goes.
Despite Duran's recent success, he was given almost no chances against the young talent. Duran got the lead hand going from the gate. Then added the right. Checked the gut.
I don't think so.
Adjusted his aim. And fired down the pipe. The glee of the crowd woke up the good old hands of stone. However, the champion wasn't about to go out that easily, getting into a brawl of smoking gloves. Roberto uncorked a cross early in the third and hungrily dug his teeth into the liver. Moore unloaded as best he could. But the challenger's elusive chin had seen worse. When they traded in close, Duran would masterfully change levels. Now fully dictating the terms of engagement.
But if Duran can keep up this pace, he will.
Late in the 7th stretch, the battered Moore entered an area of turbulence.
He's hurt.
And went for a hard landing. Slipping the jab and shooting point blank. The Panamanian reminded everyone why he got his nickname 15 years ago. The sturdy champion regained his posture and proved that some fighters are just too tough for their own good.
That's it.
An endless barrage of blows with the pleas of the commentators finally convinced the referee to allow Moore to return to his family. Duran massacred the ambitious champion and captured his 3rd weight class title. 2.5 years after the No Mas fiasco, he was back on top and made 2 million Panamanians feel proud once again. Redemption was achieved. I was reborn. I was God once more. God to the people of Panama. Worshipped and peerless. At the end of 1983, Roberto moved up in weight yet again to challenge the division's tyrant, Marvin Hagler. Arguably, the best middleweight to ever grace the ring. He could do things that were impossible to describe with words.
Stiff right hand by Hagler. Hard left hand. Lee goes down.
Rightfully bearing the nickname Marvelous.
Hagler said he didn't want it to go very long, and it's not going to go very long.
Being a dominant, undisputed champion,
It seems that Hagler...
he devastated the opposition for 7 years.
Good, straight right.
Shutting out the lights of every single challenger.
It really rocked him. Another right hand. He's got him in trouble. He's on the ropes, and that's it.
His stance-shifting combinations were a game changer.
On the chin there.
Being handicapped in the condition of Rodin.
There was a right hand and one.
And the authentic Gazelle punch earned a sinister reputation.
That was a good right hand.
Built like a supervillain, Hagler was always ready to go all in.
The physical strength now, and Hagler is landing a good combination. But he can't move Mugabe back. My God.
While his titanium chin and 2 pounding hammers added to his aura of invincibility.
Mugabe finally goes.
At the same time, when many elite middleweights wisely avoided the executioner, the former lightweight Duran insisted on the showdown.
Say thank you very, very much to all of you, and he don't care of nothing because he knows how to do it.
At stake, the undisputed.
Duran was sharp on the counter early on,
But 1 or 2 gotten in.
looking for intercepting blows.
Duran was short on the chest of Hagler.
Pulling his shorts up to the chest, Hagler probed with the southpaw jab.
There's the jab and the
Switched to the body,
Hagler with a
then back on top, and mixed it up with feints.
very effective.
we're half.
Roberto had an answer for
The
that.
body by Duran, but he paid the price. A right hand.
For the first 3 rounds, what he would do was every time that I would throw a right hand, he would counterpunch. And I'm asking my trainer, how the hell does this guy keep catching me?
Struggling to establish the right distance,
Open for the shot. Duran not able to make.
the versatile Hagler switched to orthodox. The jab immediately got through,
This is the way he needs to be in this fight.
followed by a cross.
Many people thought
Duran still coming forward. Big right hand.
dominant when they are inside. Good lead right by Hagler.
He shuffled between stances here and there, and Duran saw an opportunity.
Hard jab there by Hagler. Yet another one. A countering right hand by
By the second half, the champion started to break into enemy territory,
to a fast pace here. He wants Duran to work.
outboxing the Panamanian in his own domain.
Hagler slipping the jabs and pounding the body of Duran.
However, Roberto would catch him at times,
Continues also to work the body very effectively.
claiming a few razor-close rounds in the chess match.
And Hagler. Hagler with a big left hand at the bell. And Duran gives him a
In the 12th stretch, Marvin had to go on the defensive.
He has shown
As Duran pressed him against the ropes,
side, takes a right hand from Duran.
delivered a couple of hooks around the guard,
11.
snuck in an uppercut,
from him.
and got back to sniping off the back foot. It seemed like the scales tipped in the other direction.
Right hand.
Knowing he had lost his advantage, Hagler woke up in round number 14.
Hagler on the inside, dominating the action as you see him doing right there.
He pressed again,
Big left hand.
relentlessly unloading in the clinch.
Takes a right on the clock. Trying to Hagler with a big right hand.
Duran stood firm, putting the hands of stone to work at the end.
Fight. Left hand, and he rocks Hagler with the right hand. Hagler with the left as we head for the bell.
Roberto emerged on the wrong side of the decision, but despite being significantly outsized, he still went toe-to-toe with the world's best middleweight for 45 minutes, ultimately giving Marvin one of the toughest fights of his career.
I give him a lot of credit, man. You know, he was so experienced that he knew how to kind of keep bouncing off the rope and bobbing and weaving and avoiding some of the punches.
Unwilling to lower the stakes, just 6 months later, Roberto set his sights on the WBC light middleweight title, and the division offered him a fitting welcome.
Hi, I'm Commandant Man Hearn. I'm here to tell you, I love my waterbed gallery waterbed.
The champion, Thomas Hearns, had notched up 38 wins by that time. Snatching 30 poor souls and earning the public's respect 3 years prior with a merciless war against Ray Leonard. Thanks to Hearns' freakishly long limbs, his jab was considered an insurmountable barrier.
Good left.
Often superseded by a funeral march.
Either fighter landed a serious punch. That right hand, the first, and then sends.
His calculated aggression
Big right hand by Hearn. Baez is hurting him.
Right now, Baez.
40 odd seconds to go in the round. The right hand by Baez is out of his feet.
and readiness to decapitate the enemy at any moment
Into the right hand, down goes Roldan.
earned him the moniker Hitman.
Not only moving back, but single bomb, but down he goes.
A month before the fight, Roberto went on a spree in Miami, and his weight once again reached the cruiserweight limit, leading to an extreme weight cut. Such a lackadaisical attitude towards the craft was costly against the Netflix adaptation of Agent 47.
Overtime. Instead, he's looking to land the big bomb, and he landed a good right hand. A good right hand to the...
The 11-inch reach discrepancy was evident from the get-go.
There's that left.
And by the end of the opening round, first blood was spilled.
Duran up at will. A solid right, and down goes Duran. Duran.
A good old distracting jab to the body, disguising a sniper right hand.
Hit to his feet.
When Duran rose back up, the broad-shouldered Hearns wasn't going to let his taunting slide,
He's cutting the fight. Hearns lands a
switching his guns to automatic fire.
at him, but meanwhile taking punishment. Down he goes.
Caught under the rain of bullets,
To the left and a right behind it by the champion. Duran in trouble again in his corner. Has not hung on at all now, finally.
the challenger entered survival
Another
mode,
solid right hand by Thomas Hearns.
mostly relying on his instincts.
Referee Padilla watching. There he's up in the air again.
Then the Hitman supercharged an armor-piercing projectile.
Instinct, Bill Gill. He's just hanging a big right hand. That's it, Tim. Anytime you fall forward, the fight.
The legendary chin was shattered to pieces. Duran found himself on the wrong side of doom for the first time in 83 outings.
A second round knockout.
A defeat this devastating brought about talks of retirement. The boxer went on his first career hiatus for a year and a half, took a break from the insanely busy schedule, and, never one to submit to fate, started anew for the third time. Firmly intent on claiming another strap, Duran gradually regained lost ground. He took on tough middle-of-the-road guys, most of whom were almost 10 years younger than him.
Duran has connected and has opened up another cut. And
Still, from 87 to 88, the veteran amassed 5 matches, achieving a clean sweep.
And Duran's got him again.
Back to his winning ways, the 37-year-old Duran earned a try at the WBC middleweight throne. It was occupied at the time by the 28-year-old Iran Blade Barkley. Carving through the opposition as per Wesley Snipes' instructions,
Unnecessary punches. He can pinpoint them, and that's what he's doing.
Finish shot. Nice body shot. His body is hurt. Harrison's out. It's over.
he sensationally chopped down Thomas Hearns himself in the previous outing. For obvious reasons, the Panamanian opened as a hopeless underdog. This guy was bigger than me, much heavier than me. I thought, this guy is going to land on me like a hurricane and he is going to kill me. I started to lose confidence. I was scared to run out of air and strength. But Latinos have a strength of will that no one else has. If I said, this guy won't beat me, then there's no way he could beat me.
Duran trying to win his 4th title and
Maneuvering under the jab,
As a middleweight, up to this point, hug each other, and the fight's over.
Roberto was cooking an explosive right hand.
beat Thomas. Oh, big right hand.
Realizing he was in for a long night, Barkley focused on the midsection.
Barkley coming out now, but Duran not backing up. Terrific. Boxer Sambu Columbine thwarted his efforts to win a title before.
The savvy Panamanian transformed quickly into a counterpuncher,
There's that right hand again.
lighting his man up on the entry every chance he had. The champion stepped it up after the third, diligently mixing up his targets.
We talked about the cuts.
Duran not only endured,
Big right hand by Barkley.
but willingly traded with the giant.
Barkley pushing him off. It's been fought at a torrid pace right from the first round. Big right by Duran.
Which inevitably led to vibrant exchanges.
Barkley works in the lightweight championship for the world for Mike fighter Kenny Buchanan in 1972.
Long
Now
time.
good left hook by
Barkley digging to the body as he has been throughout this bout.
As the bout progressed, the tension only intensified.
hook by Roberto Duran.
Duran landing on the inside, so is Barkley.
Roberto rocked Barkley with a cross on the 7th
Has always been one of his trade.
and was promptly treated with a dose of hooks.
Nothing is phasing
Weathering the storm, he tossed a boulder Barkley's way, to which Iran also found a response. In the 8th frame, the American delivered his best offering of the night.
That hurt him.
A sneaky hook off a body jab caused a ripple effect in Duran's brain. Barkley charged in to test the Panamanian's gas tank.
Again, the hook against him obviously rejuvenated Duran.
Quickly figuring out that he was okay.
Pushes punches a little bit now. But they are landing.
Big right by Barkley, but still Duran will not fall.
Having eaten the champion's best shots, Roberto rallied in the 9th.
Good right by Duran. And Barkley backs up and takes a right hand.
Catching a second wind, he resembled the raging younger self.
Getting it cranked up.
There's that right hand. And another one on a left hook.
While Barkley struggled to get out of the line of fire.
Who will win the second part of this round? He's looking for the lazy jab of Barkley. They trade hooks.
Duran's trademark right hand whizzed with vicious intentions.
No question about that. There's a right hand.
That manifested into reality in the 11th.
But again, the right fight. Barkley's in trouble. He's hurt. He's down.
To the G.
2 decades in, the hands of stone were still heavy. Barkley stood back up.
Hey, how do you feel? Well, I can just feel that coming.
Blocking punches with his face until the final bell.
Combination.
Despite one of the judges' attempt to steal a clear victory, Duran celebrated a well-deserved triumph. He secured a world title in his 4th weight class, and this clash was recognized as the fight and upset of 1989. Roberto, you have an incredible heart. Where do you get that courage?
Su deseo. Panama City, Republic de Panama. I love you, Panama.
Following another career renaissance, Roberto expressed his desire to go at it with Ray Leonard for the 3rd time. Since their second meeting, the 33-year-old Sugar hadn't lost once, turning into a living legend with a handful of belts in 3 divisions.
10 seconds. He's hurt right here.
Beating Thomas Hearns. And edging out Marvin Hagler.
And here comes a good fight. We're at the end of this fight, but on his feet.
The trilogy received the slogan Uno Mas, meaning one more, and referring to the scandalous rematch 9 years prior.
Round number 1.
Leonard was traditionally fleet of foot, relying on swift counterbursts.
Lalonde, Hearns, right hand
Duran's been knocked down twice, and Duran's been knocked down.
Duran put his trust into singular detonations.
Now Duran.
Despite being in decent shape, both hardly resembled the lions they used to be. Leonard planted a cross in the 6th.
Now you give Leonard this much rest back.
And began playing into his opponent's ego.
He nailed Duran with another right hand. Duran is not punching back.
Sugar was one step ahead, not allowing Duran to bridge the gap.
Good summoned up quite a lot at age 37.
Spending round after round applying unproductive pressure. In the 11th, Duran finally connected.
Ooh, big right hand by.
The blow split the eyelid.
Simultaneously, and I think Leonard, they're telling him no problem.
And the Panamanian saw it as his last chance.
Just trying to beat that clock up.
Duran should be punching, not mugging.
But Leonard easily navigated the time remaining.
That's it.
By 1989, the number of rounds had been reduced from 15 to 12 due to health concerns. There was no doubt about the winner. Still, Duran came out of the bout basically unscratched, much unlike his foe. Leonard would need over 60 stitches.
Speed.
Let me go to the hospital to get checked out.
The final act of this great rivalry marked the end of the so-called Four Kings era. It was a legendary chapter in boxing, when 4 fighters, vying for the title of the best to ever do it, collided against each other in adjacent weight classes. Duran was one of those prominent figures, along with the aforementioned Leonard, Hagler, and Hearns. When the trio of Ali, Foreman, Frazier hung up the gloves in the late 70s, it was believed that professional boxing would fade into oblivion with them. But the Four Kings led the sport's march to new horizons. From 1980 to 1989, they had a total of 9 title showdowns, each having a distinct identity. The Four Kings decade is considered one of the monumental stretches in the history of boxing, and debates about who among them was the best continue to this day. That's why they called us the Four Kings, because no one could beat us. But the father of the Four Kings was Roberto Duran, because I'm older than any of them, and they all love me. As the trilogy came to a close, 38-year-old Roberto didn't even contemplate leaving the scene. He continued to headline smaller events, crushing younger opposition despite being long in the tooth. Over the next 12 years, Duran performed 26 times and added 18 victories to his resume, and entered the annals of history as the second man besides the Galveston giant Jack Johnson to have fought across 5 decades, from the 60s to the 2000s. Ultimately, only a tragic accident forced the 50-year-old Duran to call it quits. In 2001, he was involved in a serious car crash, suffering 8 broken ribs, a collapsed lung, and a 3-minute-long cardiac arrest. After being discharged from the hospital, the veteran officially announced the end of his career. By that moment, Duran's record stood at 119 fights, 103 wins, and 70 knockouts. Upon leaving boxing, he began to pay more attention to his large family, and became close with his old rival, Ray Leonard. Former sworn enemies, they now call each other friends.
I love this guy. You know, I love this guy. He's my friend. I love you too.
At the age of over 70, Duran maintains his spirit and makes fun of modern champions who perform once a year and promise violence and destruction only to dance around for 12 rounds and cruise to a decision win. Duran believes that in the past it was exactly the opposite, and it's hard to disagree. If you enjoyed the video and want to see the other 3 Kings, punch that like button, subscribe to the channel, and vote for sport.